Local government finance sectors at the moment don't really know what the size of the challenge is going to be. Things will become a bit clearer when the Comprehensive Spending Review is published in October, and they'll become crystal clear when we see the grant settlements in December. But what we're working to at the moment are cuts in the order of 20 to 30% or even more. And allowing for inflation, that means we're looking at real-time cuts of perhaps 20% plus. Those are big figures. Even if hopefully they're spread over the 3 or 4 years of the Comprehensive Spending Review, they're on a scale which we've not seen before. It's inevitable that with the kind of spending cuts that are being expounded, local government is going to have to cut back on some services that traditionally it has provided. So some of the things that local government is good at doing and that people want just won't be affordable. And there's got to be a way of providing those services in different ways. So, for example, there's got to be ways of finding where the community, for example, can perhaps take on the responsibility for some services which local government has traditionally provided. I think finance directors have been ready for a while now. We've really been ready for at least a year. But of course, in the meantime, we've had to have seen the general election and we've had to see the new government lay out its plans. So local government finance directors are prepared. They are ready and they're up for the challenge. And they understand that finance directors have got to be at centre stage in the programmes and the savings and the cuts have got to be made. And the role that finance directors have got to play, it's got to be just more than just looking after the money. We've got to be part of the programme to transform and to change and to do things better within the limited resources available. There is no doubt that the government's decision to protect some services has meant that the strain and the pressure on other services is going to be much more profound. And there is also no doubt that many people think that that's a decision that they wish that could be reversed. Because the fact is, in some of the areas of protected services, even though we think they're really important, like the health service, there must be the scope for further efficiency and savings. And because those services consume such big amounts of money, they are so big volume, just small savings in those areas could make a big impact elsewhere. So the government has taken a big decision really to earmark and to protect some areas of spending at the expense of others. And of course the impact of that has been really big percentage savings cuts on unprotected services. And whether that's right or wrong, well, we'll see then the outcome of that. But it is a high-risk strategy. I think everybody was surprised by the government's decision to abolish the Audit Commission. And I think what's significant about that decision is it's shown just what kind of changes the coalition government is prepared to make, just how radical it's likely to be over the next few years. I think for the last few years, the relationship between local government and health and the Audit Commission has been more like tough love, really. And many people have wished the Audit Commission wasn't saying some of the things it did say, but now thinking, well, if the Audit Commission isn't around, who is going to produce that kind of challenge? Because without that kind of challenge, there is no doubt that it'll be much more difficult to deliver bigger and better public services in the future. The choice of picking your own auditor from auditing firms, or indeed from the audit service that comes out of the Audit Commission, was there back in the 1970s. And it will not be difficult for local authorities or health organisations to go through the process of picking and selecting their own auditors. Probably what's important is that it's not done individually, but it's done collectively, so that we get the best value out of these new arrangements. There is a risk that with the absence of the Audit Commission, which always had quite a strong quality control service, that quality might be diluted or might reduce. To a degree, we can rely on the fact that most of the firms who will want to engage in this work will have high quality standards, high professional standards of their own. And you can also rely on the fact that, of course, most public organisations are quite intelligent clients, so we'll know straight away if we feel that the audit service that's been delivered is in any way diminished. And one thing we absolutely must not lose in looking to the future and the abolition of the Audit Commission are the talents and skills of the people who work there. The Audit Commission is staffed by many talented people, improving public services, regulating public services. It's kind of in their DNA. And we've got to make sure that the succession arrangements protect and promote the interests of those people, because we do need them to support public service.